So hello everyone. Today we are discussing topic related to business agility. It's more around how to coach enterprises towards business agility. And I have with me a panelist, Sanjay, Shane, and Rakesh. And we will ask them some interesting questions, which I have compiled. Some of the questions which I have already compiled, and rest we can take from the participant. Now, before we get started formally and start this discussion, why don't each panelist take a minute and introduce themselves, particularly interest and expertise towards business agility. So may we start with Sanjay? Yeah.
Sure. Hello guys, I'm Sanjay Kumar. I'm an Agile coach and trainer. I've been doing this the past 4.5 years. I do training on ICB, ACC, Kanban, Agile Scrum, all those things. And business agility, I've not been doing any training and coaching specifically on business agility, but it has been part of each engagement.
Okay.
Because it's very much embedded into what I do as an Agile coach.
Great. Thank you, Sanjay.
Over to you, Shane.
Yeah.
Oh. Welcome. Thank you very much for inviting me along. Good day, folks. Yeah, I'm Shane Hasty. I'm the Director of Community Development for IC Agile, the International Consortium for Agile. And we've been deeply embedded with business agility. We have published a roadmap for training for the competencies that organizations need to have in order to become agile across the board. Because if we think of agile product development, we've solved those problems well, and we're starting to hit the barriers that are the borders of the other parts of the business. And that's where business agility comes into play when we start to look at how we weave that in so that we free up our product development and we release agility across the whole organization.
Thank you, Shane. Yeah.
And Rakesh.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this panel discussion. It's my privilege to be here, and I come with a background of being a head in Siemens for a long time, and I had chance to work for Siemens and for Siemens client on enterprise level transformation. So it could be agile, it could be lean, and in the yesteryears there was CMI and other areas. So what really interests me about business agility is to take the activity or programs at enterprise level. Because what I have seen is that most of the agile and lean program, they have been kind of isolated into a business unit or a product development team. And the rest of the organization is kind of watching it from outside. So bringing the whole enterprise into its goal, and there's a framework to help you out. Mm-hmm. That's my interest is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh. And I introduce myself. So I'm Saket Bansal. I'm your host for this particular session. I'm into agile consulting, coaching business, and I also coach individuals on how to perform agile transformation and how to enhance organization business agility. So let's get started. Let me have some clarity on the rules, how this whole thing will work out. Initially, there will be few questions where I seek opinion from all of the panelists. And then gradually we will start putting up the questions where the volunteered panelists can speak on it. Not necessarily everybody speaks on it, maybe a one or two, depending upon how much interest and how much incremental value you wanna add to it. Is it a good to go?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So basic question, and Shane touched upon it in a way. What is this business agility? Like there has been all new words coming and going, and sometime now this is something is becoming new. So how do you look at business agility? And I would like to hear a view of each panelist on it. So
we're all being terribly polite.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shane. Maybe you want to say it.
Okay. For me, at its core, business agility is the ability of an organization to respond to change at a rate that not only keeps up, but takes advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
look at what's happening around us in the world today. We're in a situation that 2 weeks ago, none of us thought we would be in. That even a week ago, we didn't know what was happening, and we have no idea what's happening in the next week. We truly are sitting in horrible term, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And it truly does exemplify the situation that our organizations find themselves in today. And in Agile for product development, we figured out how to do things quickly, how to prioritize, how to change direction, build, measure, learn from the lean startup, all of that. So in the product space, we've sort of figured this out, but now it's hitting the whole organization, and the whole organization has to become agile in order to adapt and respond to what's going on in the world around us. And bluntly to say, those that can't are not going to be able to survive in this 21st century of chaos.
Okay, so it's like an organization overall ability to inspect and adapt together, and you believe in the changing chaotic environment. It is more and more needed, and if you can't inspect and adapt at an organization level, the organization may not survive, and this is what is business agility.
Yeah,
great. Yeah, maybe
and we achieve it through humanistic practices. That's one of the most important things in my mind about how business agility has to come about is moving away from resource-based thinking to people as the source of creative innovation in our organization. And you want environments where creativity thrives.
Okay, so we will touch upon this topic once we take the stock of business agility. It's an interesting one because it is helping us to look at how we can achieve it. And one of the things which is emerging is a humanistic approach where you unleash the creativity of your partners, members, employees, and that helps you in achieving business agility. Great. Yeah, Sanjay, Rakesh, whoever.
Yeah, so let me take the opportunity here. So what I see is if you look at all the transformation projects that have happened in past, and people have either successful or they have not been successful, there are two factors that really played a role. One is the involvement of the top management, where they only were required to just sign off and approve a budget and get a report, or there is a deeper involvement from their side. The second aspect was the cross-functional specialist like HR, marketing, and finance. So what is their role into that whole thing? So in organization where these roles and these leadership were deeply involved, they succeeded. And where they were not involved, they did not achieve their goal. They might have succeeded in one way, but they did not achieve their goal. And business agility brings up all the learning from different organizations, new and old, into new methodologies where all these people can work together. Okay. And that framework is something very attractive to me.
Great. So what I'm hearing is that you have been observing the transformations and agile transformation, and you believe, and in your observation, the transformation produced better success when they had leadership engagement as well as other stakeholder groups engagement level high. Yeah. If it was isolated to a development team, it might not have produced the desired result. And what you are seeing is that the business agility body of knowledge, the people, the frameworks and content which is emerging under the umbrella of business agility is integrating those learning and helping an organizations to take it forward. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Yeah, Sanjay.
Yeah, so I think Rakesh and Shane have covered most of the points. But in a nutshell, I would say, 20 years back when Agile Manifesto was formulated, the focus was to how to help a team deliver in a more predictable manner. Because waterfall projects would go on for almost a year, sometimes more, and still not be able to deliver value. create something useful. That's why the focus was on getting something done quickly and show it to the customer. That's why working software over comprehensive documentation.
Mm-hmm.
But over the time, so if you see over there, the focus was more on making the team, helping the team deliver something in a predictable manner. But once the success of Agile started, then companies needed that same sort of formula or success story to be spread across the entire organization. Right? So what Agile answered the question at the team level, it had not answered the question at the organization level. So I would say it is applying idea of Agile at the organization level, but also at the product level or business level, business from customer's perspective, not only service operation perspective. So it is in one way scaling the idea of Agile
Mm-hmm.
beyond a single team to the entire
Okay.
organization or to the entire product vision.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's like a scaling agility from development team to an enterprise level. That is how Sanjay looks at it. And that is something I was wanted to talk. So Sanjay kind of shared his idea about what was there and what was missing in the initial thoughts of Agile and kind of what is getting filled. But I would like to ask this question and put the thing on others, that what was missing in Agile? So you need something separate called business agility, because many of the Agile leader may believe agility was always meant for overall agility. It was never meant for small groups. Some may think like that. So who want to say that, okay, this was missing in Agile and that's why we need an explicit focus on business agility?
So let me.
Go ahead,
Okay, go ahead.
Rakesh.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Sanjay.
go ahead, Rakesh. Yeah, because Sanjay just spoke about it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So one thing which I found was missing was that how, because the software project which I dealt most, they were developed across different locations.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3, 4 global sites, and then within a global, a particular location, there were 8 to 9 teams sometimes. So we knew how the teams will work, but how these different locations will work together. And you also take care of, because all the experts are not available in all the locations. So how do you take care of the critical needs so that there's an efficiency, there is an optimum utilization of resources across distributed team. So like if you
Okay.
look at SAFe got program increment planning as a new idea, and it caught on very well with the people. So business agility brings a framework for people to interact with each other and
Okay.
focus on areas which impact each other rather than looking at the whole thing.
Okay. So what I'm saying, what I'm hearing is, from your view, the content and framework which are explicitly focusing on business agility are more focusing on overall integration and alignment.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. So
Sanjay
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
say
Sanjay
something.
wanted to say something. Yeah.
As you said a second, I was already on the thought. What was missing in Agile? I would say it was not missing. It was more like what is the focus 20 years back. The focus was to help the team deliver something quick and something useful. That's why the focus was on working solution, working software. Uh, but working solution doesn't always means the valuable solution, right?
Okay.
So there is not enough. I would say there was implicit focus on business value delivery, but there was not enough explicit focus on business value delivery. The first principle also talks about satisfying the customer through early delivery. But overall, the focus was not that much on, make sure the value discovery part is, we are spending effort and time on value discovery part. I see Agile as a 3 key engines that keep on rolling. One is the value discovery, second is value creation, and the third is value delivery. While the initial Agile manifesto did cover the value creation part and the value delivery part, the value discovery part was not so much, it was implicit, it was not so much addressed in detail.
Okay.
Scrum does talk about things, SAFe talks about things, that's implementation, but that's my short, in a nutshell, what is missing in Agile.
That's nice. So it's like value discovery, value creation, and value delivery. And a lot of initial agility was, I would say, maybe many were perceiving more focused on delivery. Gradually, they may got into creation, and now we are heading towards discovery. So it's maybe like the teams were focusing on, we have been told to deliver something, let's do it. Now let's figure it out together and have a framework where everybody's together even when we are discovering the value and we go beyond just hearing someone. Great. Shane, you have some thoughts around it?
Yeah, well, it starts right at the preamble to the Agile Manifesto. We are uncovering ways of building software.
Mm-hmm.
It was about building products. It was very explicitly around the product development team in the software environment.
Mm-hmm.
The authors of the manifesto positioned it like that. That's the problem that they were trying to solve. And if we take theory of constraints thinking, that was the bottleneck that was the biggest issue in the late 90s. Our product development projects were continually failing. We were missing the mark. We were building the wrong thing. Now we figured out how to build it. And we figured out how to build it, what to build most of the time. But it was, again, in that software development space. Mm-hmm. Now we're saying, okay, let's look beyond, because we've moved the bottleneck.
Mm-hmm.
The bottleneck is no longer how long it takes us to build the product. It's not even how long it takes us to identify what to build, because we've got design thinking, we've got lean startup, we've got all of those tools. The bottleneck is how do we get it into the hands of our customers? How do we deal with things like the funding models? Mm-hmm. If mm-hmm. we have to adapt to changing market needs on a minute-by-minute basis, but our funding model says we have to predict a year in advance what we're going to spend money on, good luck. Mm-hmm. We're never going to be there. Mm-hmm. And that's been the case. We've never been there. We've never been on budget. We've never been on time. The vast majority of development projects don't meet that because they're the wrong goals. Mm-hmm. So now we've got to tackle that. Another area that was mentioned, marketing. If we're able to release product, maybe we're using the Scrum 2-week cycle and we can get product backlog increments out the door every 2 weeks. But the marketing plan requires 6 to 9 months to position a release and make an advertising campaign and so forth. Again, we're losing such a lot of impetus. Mm-hmm. And the way that we deal with people in the HR, the people engagement component. We want people to work incredibly collaboratively. So we're looking for people not with, we talk about T-shaped skills. We want collaborative cross-functional people who will support each other and work well together. But then we have an HR process that forces a manager to rank them one against another. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's now completely in my interest to focus on what I can deliver as opposed to what we can deliver.
Okay.
So these are the types of constraints that we're starting to move against. And that's what business agility is tackling. It's moving that constraint. So we take the theory of constraints thinking. The constraint will continually move. Evan Laybourne talks about Evan's theory of agile constraints. And it says the organization can only be as agile as its least agile department. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now we've got to look at where is the bottleneck? Where is the constraint in your organization? And that's where we fix. And we fix that constraint, it'll open up another one. We know that. Theory of constraints tell us we never get rid of them. And that's why I have a problem with the word transformation. Mm-hmm. That implies an end state. Mm-hmm. And we have all of these transformation initiatives and projects that are about changing something and then stopping. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a continuous evolution. Mm-hmm. The organization is going to adapt and respond constantly in an evolutionary way.
Okay.
And we'll get better. As we identify one constraint, we fix that. Then we find the next one, we fix that. And we continue and we continue. And then we'll come back over there. And now this is going to be the constraint. One of the things in the software development space, DevOps was a movement that came around because the 2-week release cycle that was common in Scrum was too long. And now we have DevOps teams that can deploy every 11.2 seconds in some cases.
Okay.
So that's finding the constraint and moving it. And if we take that theory of constraints thinking to the organization, there's a continual evolution of change. We don't transform. There's not an end state. We don't start off as a caterpillar and end up a butterfly.
Okay.
We're a frog getting stronger, or an organism continually growing and evolving.
Yeah. Thank you, Shane. So what I'm hearing is it's a system view of an organization. And the initial focus was on the burning points, which were software development. So those were bottlenecks. So we got the fire settled there. Then the fire start coming in the release cycle. We got the fire settled there. And now we are realizing this fire is moving. Yeah. And now it makes sense to have a holistic approach to all the components so that we can chase this moving bottleneck. And there is no end state to it. The bottleneck will keep moving. So there is, sometime it could be a budgeting, sometime it could be a marketing, sometime it could be a people management, development, it could be anything. And that is where you find that, okay, business agility is more a systematic approach towards agility. Yeah. Great, thank you. So I just wanted to talk to our viewers that if you have some questions, follow-up related to this discussion, please feel free to put into a question area. I will look at them and I will place them as they are appropriate, the thing. Now, let's get into the second segment. So we understood, I explored what is business agility, how it extends the agile thinking at an organization level. So we got fair agreement on that. Now let's talk about how to achieve that. So Shane spoke about creativity of people, humanistic approach helps us in unleashing business agility. Maybe we can start from there and see what are the things, what kind of the building block can help us in achieving business agility. Maybe Shane, you want to take the humanistic first forward. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me go first. There's two fundamental changes that our organizations have to make in order to effectively become agile. The first is the way we think about our customers. Steve Deming talks about the Copernican revolution in the way that organizations deal with customers. We used to have the center of the organization, the thing which everything revolved around, was return value to shareholders. It was the board, it was the chief executive, that what they said mattered, and the decisions flowed out from there. The first fundamental shift is to move that and put the customer in the center. Mm-hmm. In today's world, meeting customer needs is the primary source of competitive advantage. Mm-hmm. And that's not telling customers what they want. That's listening to our customers and truly making them at the center. It's putting the people that are closest to our customers empowered to make good decisions and support them and look after them. In order to do that, the people who are in our organization have to truly be really interested in that customer outcome. So we need people who care, people who are creative, people who are passionate about the work that they do, that really want to support those customers. And what we see is that shareholder return and profitability and sustainability is a side effect of that customer-centric focus with a deeply caring about the people in our organization and beyond the organization. So it's thinking of the end-to-end value stream. It's not just our own employees, it's our partners in the value stream.
Okay.
So it's becoming a more connected organization. And that difference in philosophy, from the boss knows best and tells everyone what to do, the hierarchical command and control, flip it on its head. The customer comes first, and the people closest to the customers are the ones who can truly tell us what the voice of the customer is, what the customer needs are, and then let's adapt and support and build products. And we have to be constrained. This is not about making customers happy by giving them things for nothing. It's about giving customers great value for what they spend and bringing them back. Customer loyalty. In the age of the internet, customer loyalty is 3 clicks. How do we make that sustainable customer loyalty where people keep coming back, where we have that relationship with our customer rather than the transactional component?
Great. So what I'm hearing,
look after the customer, look after the people.
So what I'm hearing from Shane is that the center of business agility, as per Shane's view, is a customer-centric approach, and build all systems around the customer rather than around your own interest as an organization. It's not about delivering money to the stakeholder. It's all about solving customers' problem, and the organizations who can understand what customer really need and how can they convert that need into solution may succeed more faster in a business agility and achieving overall agility. Yeah, great. Now, anyone else want to add how to achieve business agility? One of it is achieving a customer-centric approach.
Let me. Okay.
Rakesh, you go.
Okay, thank you. So I will take the lead from where Shane left, from the customer-centric approach. And where I will take it is that look at an individual who work in an organization. There's still an approach which is task-oriented approach, that somebody gives you a task, you do your task and come back. Still the feeling of ownership and responsibility, still not that transition has taken place, the change hasn't taken place. So what we need to look at, some of the aspects that are coming up in business agility, is the mindset change. And I have interviewed many developers and many teams, and there's a feeling that yes, they have moved to an agile environment because of ceremonies, but at a thinking level, that hey, look, it is not you and your task, it is the team's responsibility. So to make the focus on everyone, to say that there is a leader inside you, okay, which is growing up. You have to nurture that leader to grow up. You should feel free and have that feeling of being a leader. Okay, you may not have people reporting to you, but still you have a leadership qualities within you which you have to grow up. And the second one is helping others, whether you call it coaching or anything, helping others. So this mindset change, starting at individual, right at the bottom there, or other member of the team, is where you started from. And then, try to ingrain those principles of customer centricity and ownership and other activity. But releasing the energy of an individual is something that is very important.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that overall mindset shift, and it starts from individual. And if you can create a growth or an adaptable mindset at an organization individual's level, that enhances the business agility. Great. Sanjay, you want to point something? Sanjay got dropped out. No problem. I think we moved to the second thing. What we are getting one question here. Okay, Sanjay is back. Yeah, Sanjay, you wanna add something here? In between, you got dropped out.
Hello.
Yeah. So go ahead, Sanjay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll carry on from what Sheen mentioned about customer centricity. That's very important. I'll add two more elements here. One is using collective intelligence, and
Mm-hmm.
which is a leadership, also part of leadership agility. Now, with business agility, we are going beyond individual teams and taking it at the organization level. And in many cases, I've seen that culture of, we make some decisions and you have to just carry it out, which I think Rakesh also mentioned a little bit. That culture of giving and taking orders has to go away.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, I don't see that a first value of Agile Manifesto, the individual and interaction, still having, it hasn't taken deep roots in organization in many cases, which, even though they are going for an Agile transformation at the entire organization level. So the shift has to happen from the culture of giving and taking orders to meaningful conversations which use people's collective intelligence. Collective intelligence is probably the second step, I would say. And the third one is keeping the big picture in all your conversation, in all your value stream, right from value discovery to value creation to value delivery. It
Mm-hmm.
often happens that product owner or stakeholders make a decision that this has to be done, and by the time it goes to the team, the communication is this has to be done, just do it. So the discussions do not happen from value centric perspective, right? If you take an example of product owner gives a user story to the team understands it, that deployment happens fine, instant planning it is planned properly, the team does a great job, good craftsmanship, and it is finished in record time, within 3 to 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
no bugs. It goes to production. So value creation, value delivery, all perfectly fine. Now it goes to production and nobody's using it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though the team did an amazing job, there was an assumption here, a big assumption that whatever we are building is going to add value. So we have to keep the big picture, the value centricity, in all our conversation in the entire value chain, right from value discovery through value creation to value growth. Right? So
Okay.
just to sum it up, customer centricity, relying on collective intelligence and keeping the big picture in mind throughout the value chain.
Great, nicely summarized. So I don't have to do that. Yeah, great. Yeah. So this is interesting. Yeah. Uh, now we spoke about that. Okay, these are the how part, but I feel just an additional stuff here. The customer centrics. I do feel it makes 100% sense. Collective intelligence, growth mindset, at taking order, rather than taking order, engaging in the whole process. I do see somewhere, maybe it is indirectly related to customer centricness, a need and ability to have evolving the business model. So it is not necessarily your current customer, it's also about your future customer, because the current customer may be getting too many choices, or maybe a shrinking need base where you are currently sticking on. So it might be expanding your customer segment itself, and or maybe adding some service which you are not doing right now. So that kind of agility, you can call it strategic agility, may also need it in order to have an overall growth, because whatever you are doing, even if you do in a perfect way, may not sustain tomorrow. The needs may change. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like this.
There
Say,
is nothing, it was W. Edwards Deming, getting, there is nothing worse than doing efficiently that should not be that which should not be done at all.
true, 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 true. So if you talk about today's environment, even if you have mastered the art of running classroom trainings and you have understood all the needs of your customers' classroom training and you are perfect in it, still you don't survive. Yeah, because there is
Yeah.
no classroom training happening. Yeah, then what do? You had
Yeah.
all agility, all processes were fixed, and you have been delivering perfect value to them. But now that whole model is on hold for a while. Now what do? So that is something like, okay, even if you limit your focus towards your current customer, still you hit the wall. Yeah.
And to your current way of doing business.
Yeah.
It's the courage to disrupt yourself is incredibly hard, but really, really important. As an organization, that which got us here becomes very comfortable, it won't get us there. And right, we're sitting in the situation today where the disruption was immediate and incredible to training organizations delivering classroom training. And that ability to pivot, and how quickly can you come up with not the same product, because an 8-hour classroom experience sitting in front of a video screen is going to kill your participants and they're going to hate it. So you can't just take that existing product and apply it to your new market space. We need to switch the product to meet the context. So how do we take an 8-hour classroom day and turn it into a series of engaging 1.5 to 2 hour sessions spread over a number of days that that maybe achieve a better outcome for the participant? And that's the other thing that that happens when we take advantage of disruption. We actually get better outcomes for our customers. So the old product becomes less valuable. And I think the disruption we're seeing at the moment with so many people having to work from home, there's a lot of them who are going to look at the amount of time they're saving not commuting and say, you know what? Even though we could go back to the office in a couple of months' time, I don't want to, because I'm getting great family time. I'm achieving more productivity, and I'm saving all of that time in the car. And the planet might thank us. So what is going to be the impact?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I just take a minute more. So sometimes a situation forces you to look beyond your current limits, and some organization, in my view, does this proactively. So when you are doing it proactively, at least you already had some footing in it, and you don't have to wait for a situation to push you through. But some organization at least respond well when the situation push you through, and there will be few who will be left. They can't respond and they could not do proactively. So I would say business agility is more about doing a lot of things proactively, and also having ability to handle the unforeseen things, because you can't visualize everything in advance. So there will be always surprises.
And it's also that ability, the courage to say, yeah, we tried this, it didn't work. Let's try something else. That experimentation mindset. The getting over the sunk cost fallacy. We spent so much, we've got to continue. No, we spent some, we learned it didn't work, kill it. That's a great learning. Let's do the next thing. So that mindset of learning, what Carol Dweck calls the adaptive mind, the flexible mind.
Great. So we explored defining business agility. We explored how it is different and extends the agile thinking. And then we explored how to do that. Let's get into, and we had a question from the participant as well. What kind of challenges, say we can talk about 1 or 2 or top 3 challenges as a group, which you may perceive may pop up when organization want to move towards business agility? What can stop them?
Should I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, just to take a couple of challenges that I see across projects and across businesses. One challenge which I always felt team was how to manage external constraints. So, within the team, everything is under your control, but how you manage your customer, how do you manage your suppliers? So I will put it as external constraints. So that is one challenge that you have to really learn how to adapt. I mean, that's where the adaptability comes. Something is a constant, something can be changed, and that's where all your talent of how do you get over that particular impediment. The second challenge, which I would say, is that focus. It's very easy to get diverted. So what is that you want to achieve? What is that you want to have an outcome? And so have a very clear purpose, a very clear goal that the team wants to achieve. And and be at it, not just throw it away. Sometimes that is also not having that clarity. Also, you don't know what the kind of damage happens to the team. So let me leave it at two. Maybe somebody can
Okay,
add.
perfect. So what I'm just I want to clarify. So one is that external constraints which you don't have a control on. So that's the one thing. And the another thing is lack of alignment on and clarity of vision, where you want to head. It is not clear, and people are getting different messages at different level, blocks them from moving. Am I reading it right, Rakesh?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Who would like to add something? Go ahead, Sanjay. Yeah.
So I'll talk about 2 points which are very well related, and I know that a lot of things that could go wrong. But the key thing which I've seen in my experience is, one is the organization has a team-centric focus, right? That Agile is all about at the team level, right? The other thing is related to processes and tools. They want to look for formulas, recipes, proven recipes, and they basically, what they do is they flip the first value of Agile Manifesto. Instead of individual interaction over process and tool, the focus becomes more like process and tools over individual interaction. Think that we have done all the thinking, we have found the best framework, we have figured out the structure, who will become what, all those things. Let's get it started. All the projects need to go into Jira, and now everybody needs to do stand up. So the focus is extremely high on process and tools, and their thought process about just get it done in this particular manner, right? Which undermines the individual interaction at all different levels. That's why I try to emphasize that if you are adopting Agile, either at a team level or organization level, you need to have a deep faith in collective intelligence. You have to have a deep faith in people's intelligence and believe that they can contribute, right? If you think you are the smartest one sitting at the top and people should just listen to you, it's not going to happen.
Okay, so
No.
lack of self-organizing culture can block business agility. Is it a right way to say, Sanjay?
I would say over reliance on processes and tools,
Yeah.
and then individual and interaction.
Yeah, we're agile because everything's in Jira.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So what else can block people from organization from moving business agility?
All right. One of the first is the wrong metrics. We're measuring the wrong things. Agile is never a goal. And I don't care. It's not a measure of how many teams have adopted this or how many people have been through XYZ training. It's what are the business outcomes we're trying to achieve? Is it time to market? Is it customer satisfaction? Is it quality of product? There's all of those real metrics. And then we figure out how do we do that, as opposed to we're going to implement a framework. We've got 7,500 people who've got to be trained in Scrum. We're going to teach them exactly the same things, so processes and tools. And we will say we are successful when 7,501 people have been trained. The other one is the leadership with a fixed mindset. Make them agile. We're okay. This is about leadership taking front and center. What can we learn together? And that's one of the biggest and hardest challenges for any sort of organizational evolution.
Okay, so leadership and measuring something which is not taking us towards business agility. That is something can block us our progress. But I see a lot of great ideas. I just wanted to explore something more here. I would say organizations comfort with the current business model and short-term thinking also overall hampers the strategic agility. So I'm focusing on the growth part of business agility, where you want to get something in next 6 months. You are focusing on your this quarter sale, and that blinds them in creating new markets. So you get stuck into your current markets too much, where the whole movement might move. And it is, I think, leadership plays a significant role here, because it's like they are the one who are seeing that market. The development team might not be seeing the future market, but the leadership should have the vision. That's something blocks in. And overall, just vision doesn't serve the purpose. Then you need to have capability and internal structures and systems which adapts. As you said last time, that transformation is not an end state. And whatever structure, whatever system we create, we are creating it for solving today's problem. And by the time we finish creating, the problem is already changed. It's already obsolete. So it's a race between our structure and processes and systems and the problem. Yeah, and which is never ending loop. Yeah. So yeah, this is something I also can help and block the business agility part. So I have been looking at the questions and I'm fitting them. I'm relevant here. Okay. Now let's move towards the final stage, because we are in towards the last 10 minutes of our conversation. And let's look at the particularly on agile coach role. Yeah. So how an agile coach can help in achieving business agility? What can I do? Yeah, something like that. And I saw some of the questions that, okay, I am into an engagement. I have these many people. This is. What do I do? Yeah. Whoever wanna take it.
Yeah, so I think the first advice I will give to a coach is that you should be able to engage with the leadership team, because business agility is at an enterprise level. So what is the thought process of the leadership, the lead man? You should be able to connect with them, because ultimately they value and they also, it should be visible to them, because ultimately they are driving the organization. So creating a relationship at the leadership level, at the leader level, is something that coach should look at very seriously. That's one I can give.
So coaching, developing skills to coach leaderships and helping them in creating exploratory mindset. I'm not using a word growth mindset just because a lot of theories and other things will come in. So I'm just choosing different word, which may mean the same thing. Yeah.
So basically, there's one question I can see, that how do you, if there's a big organization, how do you scale it up? Where do you start from?
Yeah.
So you have to talk to the leader and say, where do you get your benefit from? So you go to the business unit, go to the product line, where they see a benefit will come, and start from there. So just to give an example.
Great. Thank you, Rakesh. Who wanna go rest that? Okay. How an agile coach can contribute a movement towards business agility?
I'll add on to what Rakesh said. Yes, it is important to engage the leadership, because in many cases I've seen leadership has made their mind and they come to me and say, okay, this is what has to be done, and let's get started. So they want me to focus on the how part, working with the teams. I would like to go back and discuss a little bit about the what also, and also a little bit of why also, and to engage them. And Shane also mentioned that they don't want to change. They think that Agile is all about the team members. But I should be able to engage leadership in changing their mindset or their thought process also a little bit. And coaching conversations is an important tool which a coach has to learn. How do you carry on meaningful coaching conversation and make people think on a different lines, different thought process. The other thing I would say is Agile coaches also be able to have good skills in value discovery domain, to be able to help product owners also to do these how to value discovery, right? Now most of us do learn about prioritization, different things, but there are other things like design thinking, product roadmaps, and lean way of what's a lean startup kind of concepts. So we have to learn more about the value discovery process, also to be able to mentor and coach product owners in the process.
Great. So going beyond what you have been doing, go to the leaders and go to the business. And in order to go to business, prepare yourself so that you understand business. And in order to do that, understand what customer need, get a familiarity as well as expertise in a design thinking tool, because now with business agility, a coach might coach stakeholders, business users, than the development team. Great. Shane, you want to add something here for a coach?
Yeah. A good coach starts with listening. and we listen at the most senior level, and we listen all the way through, and we really get to understand the why. So Sanjay pointed us to figure out the why. What is the driver for the leadership in the organization? What are the things that they care about? And then how do we link those to what needs to be done further down the chain? So that systems thinking, the enterprise coaching competencies of looking at the bigger organization. So we certainly see there are different competencies in the team coach level and the enterprise coach level. They are transferable competencies, but they are different. And the systems thinking, the visualization, the realization at that level, and being able to influence, identify, and communicate the goals of the organization in a way that then can carry down to the operational areas of the business. And then we can figure out, okay, in order to achieve this goal, what's going to be the right structure? What's going to be the right team formation? What competencies and skills do we need, and so forth? So the team stuff comes out of that. And we start to look at, if we're working at that enterprise level, even starting to challenge the structures of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I'm known for the No Projects book, value streams rather than silo-based departments. Now, those sort of changes have to be empowered at the very top. They won't happen without leadership buy-in. So at that enterprise level, you're working closely with the leaders and conveying, what does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
What is the real implication of this? And then talking again about the experimentation approach. What's the small thing we can do? Can we maybe set up one value stream and see, do we get that value out of there? And experiment, adapt, and learn. And again, take that evolutionary mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We're never there. We're always on a journey of discovery, exploration, adaptation.
Okay.
And as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing that message of evolution, of adaptation, working with the teams, working with at whatever level in the organization. So as a coach, I'm the advocate for learning.
Okay. So it's like, as a coach, you start focusing on overall system thinking and relates why with how. And that is what you see that coach who are coaching organization on business agility needs to work on. And you do see this competency, it helps you more doing an enterprise level coaching rather than at a team level. That is, the business agility fits more well in. And creating a sense of learning organization, an evolutionary approach of systems, learning, product discovery, everything is a evolutionary, is something can help a coach first himself evolve to the new changing things and help organization to also take in that direction. Yeah, great. Yeah. Want to say something? So I heard some voice. No? Yeah. Rakesh, you want to say something?
One closing, one last comment. I see one of the question is how to tell a customer no if you can't do it. My advice will be that no customer would like to have a surprise. So if you know something is not possible, inform them as early as you can. And it's question of how you engage your customer. And that's on a continuous basis. So it's not that they don't like bad news. Nobody likes bad news. But if something is really a bad situation and you let them know much earlier in advance, that's better way of handling it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. So I do see a lot of questions and comments coming in, but again, there is a time box as usual. So we definitely remain connected, and this video will also get posted on our YouTube channel, and we do many other activities. So you can drop your comment in the video or drop us an email. We do our best to get the answer. Now, since I'm moving towards the closer, I give each panelist a chance to kind of make a final comment on whatever they feel about the last 1 hour or in general, and advice around this topic. Final comment.
Whew. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And coming back to where the world is today, we need that mindset of agility to help our organizations, our people, our communities, our countries come through what is one of the biggest challenges we've faced as a global community. And agility will give us this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Right.
Rakesh?
The last thing for
Okay, go ahead, Sanjay.
yeah,
Go ahead.
is as agile coaches, you'll have lots of situations where you'll be asked to focus on resource utilization, optimization of that. So I'll say, keep reminding yourself your job is to focus on business value delivery over resource utilization. Resource utilization is important, but business value delivery is what you should focus on, and help the leaders also focus on all the time.
Thank you, Sanjay. Rakesh?
So what I would say in the current context, one small micron, COVID-19 is changing every one of us. Yeah. So I think explaining business agility in the current context is it's very relevant in the sense that either we are waiting that this will go away, or we start thinking today that how can we live in this world while solving the problem, but trying to be as normal as possible. And that's what is business agility is all about. Not to get scared, not to get panicked, but to rethink how you're going to live, knowing the challenges. Thank you. But it was a great experience on this panel.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you everyone for participating. I enjoyed working and talking to all the three panelists. Now, to take this thing further, if you find this area interesting enough, we do run programs around business agility. So we do have a classroom program. So I don't know how to talk about much about classroom program because it's little uncertainty, but we are projecting something in April where Rakesh will take a classroom program in Bangalore. It's a 2-day program. So now, like Shane briefly touched upon, the IC Agile has like divided their learning programs under 2 categories. One is a delivery, another is a business agility. So you can see a significant, at least from IC Agile point of view, significant explicit focus on business agility. I would say focus was always there, but it's an explicit focus on business agility. And to make this whole track, there are many learning paths, but there is a foundation to it, which is something like you understand the basic building blocks of business agility. And that particular program is called Business Agility Foundation Program. So that particular program we do run. We do run this program in classroom as well as in online mode. I do have a quick schedule to share. So this is something, an upcoming online program details, where we are doing on 1st April, one batch is starting, another is the 13th, and finally one is coming on 23rd. You can find these details on our website as well. But yeah, in case you wanna take this journey forward, you may wanna check it out, these program details as well. And thank you. And we do hope to see you again in some of the other webinar or online event. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.